There is a degree and dimension to theism that all must accept or be destroyed. To the God above that you pray to, where is he? This invisible being which you claim to worship. Do the beasts and fowls worship the same? Do they know him? Doth the earth know him? The most compelling argument for atheism is one that I have been wrestling with for some time now. For one who believes in an intelligent and self-aware being capable of creating and manipulating matter with a mere thought, a being that you have never before heard or seen in your short mortal life, what prevents you from also believing in fairies, unicorns, or Santa Claus? Indeed, what constitutes reality? What is the fabric of your existence? Or is existence an insignificant thing that holds no value? Your eyes deceive you, you are blind, and nihilism must be your fate. Many theists fall victim to this as pastors preach that we should not rely on our eyes or basic instincts, but be totally reliant on God and His Word. Be slaves to God forever. You should not think for yourself, live for yourself, or feel for yourself. Total, unquestioning obedience is the law for those who follow God according to these pastors, and those who follow this mindset will die by it. Their freedom is non-existent, all because a book full of writings almost 2,000 years old says so. Why? QAnon, Flat Earth, Satan in the Oval Office, leftists are pure evil, or vaccines cause autism. They start believing in fairy tales, conspiracy theories, lies, unwilling to produce proof of their claims, or directly lacking any semblance of evidence. Latter-day Saints are not exempt from this, as many follow suit. Despite every historical document saying otherwise, a documentary was produced called Who Killed Joseph Smith, in which the director claims that it was not the mob, but John Taylor and Willard Richards, as associates of the mob, who killed the Smith brothers. However, who is to say that it was not the mob that killed the Smiths in the same manner the film depicts John and Willard? All of this is because the director thought something else was happening in those short, measly 3 minutes, instead of also contemplating everything else surrounding those measly minutes. Now there are many more conspiracy theories that many have taken up concerning the church. So again, we ask, what are we to do with people who are so willing to believe anything due to their blind faith in God? So into their faith are they that all they listen to is conference talks, or all they read is from Deseret Book. They are blind. Their faith is blind. Where has their grasp of reality left them? What is the purpose of God if those who believe in Him too often turn to conspiracy theories and fairy tales? Though atheism is not free of nihilistic tendencies either, it simply manifests differently. Whereas most theists are blind to their nihilistic beliefs, atheists know that they believe in nothing. Atheistic nihilism is often more tangible and whole. They know they can trust their primal instincts. They know that beings who came from nothing shall henceforth return to nothing, and everything they ever do, everything they say, will vanish instantly. We will all be in vain no matter what incredible feats we accomplish. Life has no reason, purpose, or meaning. It simply is. There is no morality, only survival of the fittest, and anything you do to continue your bloodline is considered good, even if it means the death of another lineage. Theists opt for nothing to be everything. Atheists opt for everything to mean nothing. Either way, you will have nothing, nil. Therefore, where there is something, it must always remain something, and where there is nothing, there must forever remain nothing. What is and isn't remains separate forever. Herein do I give you my Metaphorical God Hypothesis. From what has been observed about the universe, it will all end one day. By heat or crunch, the death of everything is inevitable. To claim a metaphorical God is to say that we can cheat death and escape the end of all things. A rushing belief that future humans have what it takes to transcend their natural state to a higher plane of existence. According to physicists like Neil deGrasse Tyson, the multi-dimensional theory is a very real possibility. While we cannot observe or access these higher dimensions, we are beginning to understand them at a mathematical level. First, take a piece of paper and draw a point on it. You have just entered the 0th dimension. Now draw a second dot and a line between the two dots. Now you are in the first dimension, which consists of length. Now draw a third dot and connect your first two dots to it. Now you are in the second dimension, which consists of length and width. The world you and I live in is the third dimension because it has both length, width, and height. We can move freely in this space. A two-dimensional being would be flat, only capable of moving forwards, backwards, left and right right, but not up or down. If a three-dimensional being were to cross over into the two-dimensional plane, the two-dimensional beings would only be able to see the line of it, the 2D version of it. The 3D being would grow in and out of seeming nothing and contract as per the 2D being's visuals. Similarly, if a 4D being were to pass through our field of view, it would appear as a three-dimensional object, and yet it appears out of nowhere. Now suppose that a three-dimensional cube is a point in space-time. We have entered the fourth dimension if we draw a new line to another cube to create a tesseract. The line we drew is the timeline, where we can move forwards and backwards in time. You can now move to a different time in your life and make a new choice to rewrite your history, like returning to an old save on a video game, only you cannot continue your previous timeline. Now to get to the fifth dimension, we add a second line that extends outward to create a parallel universe in which you can exist simultaneously with an alternate choice you made, yet you cannot meet yourself, but you can in the sixth dimension. It is estimated that dimensions go up to 11. Further dimensions might include alternate universes, in which it was not the Big Bang that started the universe, but something else. Alternate universes where apes conquered humans, and others in which humans never existed. Further up, we might have universes in which the laws of physics behave differently from our own, allowing people like Superman to exist, a being who can fly without wings or a machine, or lift impossibly heavy objects without needing bigger or denser muscles. According to Neil deGrasse Tyson, one possible solution for why, in quantum mechanics, we see particles popping in and out of existence or becoming entangled with each other across the universe is they are going in and out of higher dimensions that we cannot explain. This would also explain why a being like an angel Moroni can pop in and out of young Joseph's bedroom without waking up his siblings. Moses says he was caught up to a high mountain without moving, but how did he get there so fast? We could be living in higher dimensions, yet cannot fully comprehend them yet. It seems interesting to me that we humans can only see and hear a three-dimensional world, yet we can comprehend higher dimensions than our own. Movies depict people traveling backwards and forwards in time like a 4D being. We write stories of alternate Earths with alternate histories, like we are peering into the fifth and sixth dimensions. We create fantastical worlds which depict alternate laws of physics from our own, like looking into the eighth or higher dimensions. Indeed, with the multi-dimensional theory, who is to say that The Dark Knight isn't based on a true story? Maybe it is. It is nice to imagine there might be a hungry lion around the corner so we can prepare ourselves. But what benefit is there in imagining a dragon is around the corner? What benefit is there in imagining whole new worlds which break the laws of physics, like Pandora and its floating mountains from James Cameron's Avatar? If evolution only programmed us with the specificities of survival, why would we need to have such crazy and wild imaginations? Why can we picture in our minds and create computer-generated worlds so vastly different from our own? Shouldn't we, as 3D beings, only be capable of imagining the third dimension instead of any higher ones? My hypothesis, the metaphorical God, is that we are higher dimensional beings trapped in a three-dimensional world, and our objective is to use our wild imaginations to help us escape before the heat death of the universe. Can we take upon us this tremendous responsibility, awaken the sleeping God inside us, and transcend our three-dimensional plane? Can we take all of humanity's memories with us into this great future? Science seems to support this idea. Consider the brain and its neurons, how it makes one connection as one dimension, and then another for the second dimension, and then a third. The more connections it makes, the higher dimensions it transcends. For the Buddhists, the way we transcend our minds or souls into higher dimensions is a step-by-step process. Through constant meditations, you must learn to let go of all things mentally, which weigh you down, all your desires, the trauma, and all heavy burdens. Make your head as light as a balloon, so it might float forever. Forgive others and yourself. Become immune to pain, pride, arrogance, boasting, lust, greed, and envy. Drop all things which bind you to the third dimension, and care only for things that an eighth dimensional being or higher would care for. Such a being does not care for money, or what he has or has not. He does not worry about the future, or concern himself with the past, for all things are before him, and he simply exists. As soon as you can do that, the whole world becomes yours, others, one which you freely share with your neighbor. If need be like a shaman. Isolate yourself in the woods away from all technology and people for an hour or more, so that you can entirely drown out the false opinions and humming noise of the world. Clear your mind and return as soon as you are so light that you feel like you can fly.
A shaman is a man, in other words, who has undergone solitariness. He's gone away into the forest to find out who he really is, because it's very difficult to find that out while you're with other people. And the reason is that other people are busy all the time telling you who you are, in many, many ways, by the laws they impose on you, by the behavior ruts they set on you, by the things they tell you, by the fact that they always call you by your name, and by the fact that when you live among people you have to be in a state of ceaseless chatter. But if you want to find out who you are before your father and mother conceived you, who you really are, you almost have to go off by yourself. Go into the forest and stop talking, even stop thinking words, and be absolutely alone. And listen to the great silences. And then, if you're lucky, you recover from the illusion that you're just little me with so-and-so, and you attain the state of nirvana, which means the blown-out state, the relieved state, the sigh of relief.
And those future humans who have transcended time and space to higher dimensions might be looking down on you right now. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel, and share it with another human. If there is anything that you find difficult to understand, or that you disagree with, then tell me about it in the comments. And remember to keep it righteous.